Without the elevation, without the elevation of knowledge, sacrifices are simply material activities. When, however, they are elevated to the level of transcendental knowledge, all such activities enter into the spiritual platform. Depending on differences in consciousness, sacrificial activities, sacrificial activities are sometimes called karma kanda, fruitative activities, and sometimes jnana kanda, knowledge in the pursuit of truth. It is better it is better when the end is knowledge.
So Krishna said that how we are sacrificing our material possessions to please the demigods, so the demigods can give us some more comforts, maybe take us to heavenly planets or something. He's saying better than this is sacrifice of knowledge, one who's searching after the truth, one who wants to understand I'm not the body, I'm the spirit soul. So that is better because Krishna is giving comparison. No? They are all sacrifices, yes, but then there's different levels of sacrifices. But the purpose of all the sacrifices is because we are all so much thinking, I'm the body, to help us to elevate our consciousness, to understand the knowledge that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. And then to understand, oh, I have an eternal relationship with Krishna. Uh, then to engage in that loving relationship. So this is what the sacrifice is for. To help us situate in our real position, our constitutional position. So then Prabhupada, of course, is saying that there are different types of sacrifices, different processes. Some sacrifices are lower, some are higher. But the real knowledge that one has to come to is that I'm eternal servant of Krishna. Let me engage in Krishna's service. Confidential knowledge is to understand I'm not the body, I'm the soul. More confidential knowledge is to understand that I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I'm a servant of Krishna. And most confidential knowledge. Okay, so this is my relationship. Then I engage in devotional service. Krishna himself is giving us this in the Bhagavad Gita. In the second chapter, he says that we are not the body, we are the soul. That's confidential knowledge. In seventh and eighth chapters, he's saying how he is the Supreme Lord, how everything is coming from him, how we should always think of him. So, no, of how he is the Supreme Lord, his position. So that is more confidential knowledge. And most confidential knowledge in the ninth chapter, devotional service. So this is the reason for all sacrifices. And as we have been hearing that the sacrifice recommended for this age of Kali is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Tatviti pranipatena.
Sorry, Bobby, I had a question.
Yeah.
Can this term karma kanda, what exactly is it?
Karmakaya. It's in the Vedas that recommend certain yagya, puja, certain activities to then please the demigods so that we can get more material benefits, more money, more opulence, more fame, take us to the heavenly planets where we can enjoy more. So this is karma because it's on the material platform. It's doing pious activities to get pious results. And one will say, but isn't it good to do pious activities and get pious results? I mean, you're getting good results, so you can enjoy more. But we have to understand, we have to raise above this, come to the point of Krishna consciousness, because even the pious results will continue to keep us here in the material world. Is that okay?
Yes.
It's like, we are in the jail cell and then we do something good. So then the jailer is happy with us and he says, okay, I'm going to upgrade you to the better jail cell. I'm going to give you a TV and a bed in your jail cell. But we did good, but we still just are still in the jail. We didn't do something which will help us get out of the jail. We just did something which gave us more facility in the jail, but still in the jail. Is that okay?
Yeah, got it.
Tat vidhi pranipatena
Tadvidhi pranipatena
pariprashnena sevaya
pariprash pariprashena sevaya
vadekshyanti te jnanam
upadekshanti te jnanam
jnaninas tattvadarshinaha.
jnanina tattvadarshina. Translation. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Purport. The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord Himself. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and a person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciple. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam says, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path, nor by independent study of the books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination for spiritual understanding. Unless there is submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the test of the spiritual master. And when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. In this worth, both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. Not only should one hear submissively from the spiritual master, but one must also get a clear understanding from him in submission and service and inquiries. A bona fide spiritual master is by nature very kind towards the disciple. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and inquiries becomes perfect.
So Krishna is going on to say to Arjuna, first he spoke to him of different types of knowledge and, I'm sorry, different types of sacrifice. And then he was telling him sacrifice, which leads to knowledge, is the highest, is more higher, right? Now he's saying how he can get this transcendental knowledge by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. So we can see how Krishna gradually, he wants to elevate our consciousness also. He say, okay, you may be pleasing, doing some fruitive activities to enjoy the results of karma, but that's not going to lead you to liberation. You rather try to get this transcendental knowledge that will get you liberation. Then he's saying how you can get transcendental knowledge. He's saying approach a bona fide spiritual master, serve him, inquire from him submissively, and render service to him. So, who is a bona fide spiritual master? Bona fide spiritual master is one who's coming in the disciplic succession, who's coming in the parampara. The disciplic succession or the parampara starts from God Himself. Krishna is the initiator of this parampara. There are four bona fide Vaishnava sampradayas, the disciplic succession, beginning from that Krishna gave knowledge to Brahma. So we are coming in that line, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnava Sampradaya. Then Krishna gave knowledge to Lord Shiva. That is the Rudra Sampradaya. Then Krishna gave knowledge to Lakshmi Devi. That is the Sri Sampradaya. And then we have the knowledge that Krishna gave to the Kumaras, four Kumaras. That's called the Kumar Sampradaya. And only the personalities, the spiritual masters who are coming in this line, they are bona fide. Because this is the disciplic succession and the beginner is Krishna. Nobody can speak religious principles. No ordinary human being can speak religious principles. Only God. Bhagavatam says, Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. Krishna sets down the principles of religion because we are prone to defects. No, we can cheat. We have a tendency to cheat. We have a tendency to commit mistakes. Our senses are imperfect, and we are in illusion. So whatever principles we lay down are going to be faulty, but religious principles cannot be faulty. So they are laid down by the perfect person, and that is God Himself, Krishna. He lays down the principles of religion. And then these devotees who are coming in the disciplic succession, they are spreading this knowledge from one to another. That's the way to receive this transcendental knowledge in the disciplic succession. If we are going to hear from some professional reciters or someone who's not in the disciplic succession, that knowledge will not lead us to realization. If we want the knowledge to lead us to realization, we need to hear it in the disciplic succession because then that's the pure knowledge. It's the real knowledge as Krishna spoke it. There is no adulteration, there is no somebody's own imagination or misinterpretation in it. So Prabhupada would give the example just like you want to mail your letter, you put it in a box which is authorized by the postal service. You put your letter in that, and then for sure it will be received to to whoever you have written the letter. But if you just take a box yourself, paint it red and green, and put a letter there, it's never gonna receive the person who you have written the letter to is never going to receive it. Why? Because the postman is never going to come and take it from there. It's not authorized. So similarly, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, we need to hear from one who is authorized, who's coming in the disciplic succession. Like here, we are hearing from Srila Prabhupada. He is coming he is in the parampara. At the end of the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada is giving us this whole parampara. How Brahma gave knowledge to Narad, Narad to Vyasadev, Vyasadev to Madhvacharya, coming to Lord Chaitanya, coming to six Goswamis, coming to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, coming to Srila Prabhupada, like this. So, and then this is what Krishna is saying. You approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. And when we find such a spiritual master, we need to hear the knowledge with surrender, accept the knowledge, because he's speaking only what Krishna spoke. That's why this is called Bhagavad Gita as it is, as Krishna spoke it, as Arjuna understood it. So surrendering to what the spiritual master is saying. He is speaking about Krishna, the science of Krishna consciousness, the bona fide spiritual master. Bona fide. It's like the ambassador the ambassador of India in Spain, he is given the authority by the Indian government to issue visas, to issue passport. He has the authority. And, but if somebody just claims, opens, just paints just takes up a shop, a place and paints over there, writes Indian embassy and starts issuing visa and passport, but is not authorized by the Indian government there. Even if we get that passport or that visa, I cannot travel with it because it's not authorized. It may look the same, but it's not authorized. And so this is why we need to hear from the authorities. And how do we hear? Hear with submission. Put inquiries with surrender, not in a challenging mood, but with a genuine desire to understand, a sincere desire to understand, not to challenge the authority or to, then we will not be able to receive the knowledge. And serve the spiritual master. Service. Service begins by hearing. Hear from him. Serve him. Serving could be Vapu and Vani. Vapu means serving the physical body, and Vani serving the instructions. Vapu may or may not be possible, but Vani, we can serve from wherever we are, serving the instructions of the spiritual master. And in this way, the spiritual master, when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, being pleased with the disciple, the spiritual master blesses him with transcendental knowledge. So there is a reciprocation between the spiritual master and the disciple. Reciprocation of receiving knowledge on the part of the disciple, asking inquiries on the part of the disciple, and the spiritual master is answering the inquiries and imparting the knowledge. Is that okay? Any questions or comments? No, then we go on. Yad gyatva na punarmoham.
Yajyatva na punamohamev ham
Evam yasyasi pandavam.
mevam yasyasi pandavah
Yena bhutani asheshani.
jena bhuta anya shoshani
Drakshyasi atmani atho mayi.
takshasya atmana nayotho maya.
Can someone read? No? Then I can read. Okay. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine. So Krishna is saying, first he's saying that get this transcendental knowledge so that you can get liberation. Then he's saying how to get it from the bona fide spiritual master. Then he's saying, when you get this knowledge, then you will see that everyone is a part and parcel of me. All living beings are but part of the Supreme. They are mine. Each of us, even in the 15th chapter, Krishna says, Mamaivam Sajiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, that all living entities are my parts and parcels. So the result of receiving knowledge from a self-realized soul, or one who knows things as they are, is learning that all living beings are parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. All living beings. They could be in the body of human beings, in the body of trees, in the body of animals or fish. Each of us are part and parcel of Krishna. It's not that we are cut from him like a big paper is there and then we are cut into pieces and that's why we become parts of Krishna and then Krishna is no more. No, Krishna exists and we exist too. Simultaneously we exist. That means spiritual. Krishna already spoke in the second chapter that the soul cannot be cut to pieces. The soul is eternal, is individual, always exists. So Krishna always exists and we exist eternally also as his parts and parcels. The sense of an existence separate from Krishna is called Maya. Ma, not ya, this. Something that we have nothing to do with Krishna. That Krishna is only a great historical personality and that the absolute is the impersonal Brahman. So what is Maya? Maya means thinking that I am separate from Krishna. I'm not a part and parcel of Krishna. I don't, Maya is forgetfulness of Krishna. This is Maya. We have completely forgotten that we have an eternal loving relationship with Maya. And I'm sorry, with Krishna. And that is Maya. Thinking that we are independent of Krishna, that is Maya. Thinking that Krishna is that just he's some personality in the mythology or some, or such a, oh yeah, he was there 5,000 years ago, great person, but not understanding his position as the Supreme Lord, that is Maya. Thinking that the absolute truth is impersonal, does not have a form, that is Maya. So factually, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, this impersonal Brahman is the personal effulgence of Krishna. So Krishna himself is saying, where is this impersonal Brahman coming from? It's coming from his own body. It's the effulgence coming from his body. It's the light which is coming from his body. Just like where is the sunshine coming from? One may be happy just to understand, oh, there is sunshine. But another wants to do more research. Where is the sunshine coming from? It's coming from the sun planet. So similarly, one may be happy to understand that there is this Brahman, but one may want to understand, where is this Brahman coming from? It's coming from Krishna. So Krishna is the source of the Brahman. Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of everything. In the Brahma Samhita, it is clearly stated that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. Brahma Samhita are the prayers spoken by Lord Brahma, in which he says, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchid Ananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. That Krishna, Govinda, his form is Satchid Ananda. He's the original personality of Godhead. He's the cause of all causes. So Lord Brahma is also telling us who is the original God. It's Krishna. From who is the source from who everything is coming? It's Krishna. It's a person. Even the millions of incarnations are only his different expansions. So we see that there are so many incarnations. Lord Ramachandra, Lord Nishingadev, even the Narayan forms, the Vishnu forms, Matsya, Kurma, Varahadev, Vamandev, so many incarnations. Bhagavatam says, Etecha amsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. There are so many incarnations, there are so many expansions of the expansions, but the original form of God is Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So similarly, the living entities are also expansions of Krishna. Now, we are also expansions of Krishna, but we have to understand we are his Jiva Tattva. We are not Vishnu Tattva. We are minute, tiny, tiny, tiny expansions. Just as Krishna is unlimited, we are minute. The Mayavadi philosophers wrongly think that Krishna loses his own separate existence in his many expansions. This thought is material in nature. We have experience in the material world that a thing, when fragmentally distributed, loses its own original identity. So, if we think that, oh, because Krishna is expanded into so many, so Krishna does not have his original form anymore. God does not have a form anymore because he's had so many expansions. Then this is material thinking. Then we are not able to understand spiritual. Spiritual means it always exists eternally, cannot change the shape or form, cannot cut. But material, yeah, the form changes, the shape changes, there is transformation, there is, when we are cut, for example, we cut the paper into many, many tiny parts. The big paper is not there, only the tiny parts are there. But this is material. Krishna is transcendental, spiritual. We, the souls, we are not material. We are transcendental also. We are spiritual also. The soul cannot be cut, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. But the Mayavadi philosophers fail to understand that absolute means that 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 and that 1 minus 1 is equal to 1. This is the case in the absolute world. So the absolute world, it's Krishna plus everything is also equal to Krishna. Krishna minus everything is also equal to Krishna. Why? Because everything is coming from Krishna, is simultaneous existing, simultaneously one and different, is Krishna's energy. Everyone is Krishna's energy. This material world is Krishna's energy. We, the spirit souls, we are Krishna's energy. The spiritual world is Krishna's energy. And Krishna is a person who has so many energies. That is the meaning when we say God is omnipotent. Means God is a person and he has so many potencies. Okay. For want of sufficient knowledge in the absolute science, we are now covered with illusion. And therefore, we think that we are separate from Krishna. Although we are separated parts of Krishna, we are nevertheless not different from him. Now we are in illusion. We are thinking we are the body. Our thinking is completely material, not able to understand. I'm a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. We are not able to understand we have an eternal loving relationship with Krishna. This is what Maya is. You've forgotten our relationship. We are simultaneously one with Krishna and different from Krishna. Simultaneous one and different. Simultaneous one. How? Because we are parts and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is Satchidananda. We are also Satchidananda. Just like a drop of ocean water is a part of the full ocean. So the full ocean has salt and the drop of ocean water also has salt. Yeah. So the ocean water and the ocean parted. But the quantity of salt in the complete ocean is very different than the quantity of salt in the drop of ocean. In one drop, there's barely any salt, but in the complete ocean, there's so much salt. So this is what? Simultaneously one and different. We are part of Krishna. Of course, we have to understand. Then we will say, oh, but the drop of water, when it goes in the ocean, it does not exist anymore. It becomes the ocean. So we are the souls. When we go to God, we are going to become God. But we have to understand drop of water, this example we are giving to understand how quantity is different, but quality is same. But this ocean water is material. We are not material. We are spirit souls. The spirit soul is eternal, always is an individual, can never give up the individuality. That's the difference between material and spiritual. If we think we are ever going to give up our individuality and become God, that is material thinking. Still, the material thinking is continuing. We are still thinking in terms of matter, just like, oh, the ocean water is going into the ocean, so it's become one, so I'm going to become one. But we are not matter, we are spirit souls. The bodily difference of the living entities is Maya or not actual fact. We are all meant to satisfy Krishna. By Maya alone, Arjuna thought that the temporary bodily relationship with his kinsman was more important than his eternal spiritual relationship with Krishna. So Arjuna is put into Maya by Krishna so that Krishna can speak the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna for our benefit. So we can understand. We have completely forgotten our eternal relationship with Krishna. And we are only thinking that the relationships of the material world, that those are the only relationships. We are not able to understand that, yes, the relationships that we are having in the material world, yes, we have them, but they are temporary. But we have an eternal spiritual relationship with Krishna. Because the relationship in the material world, that's of the body. It's based on the body. But our relationship with Krishna is not of the body. It's the relationship of the soul with Krishna. We are souls. The whole teaching of the Gita is targeted toward this end, that a living being as Krishna's eternal servitor cannot be separated from Krishna, and his sense of being an identity apart from Krishna is called Maya. So that this is all what Krishna is speaking in Bhagavad Gita. And that's why he's saying, Sarva Dharmam Parityagya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. That you abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. Why is Krishna saying us to surrender unto him? Because that's our original position. We are Krishna's eternal parts and parcels, eternal servitors. And just right now, we are thinking, oh, why should I surrender to Krishna? That's the reason we are in the material world. When we can understand that, oh, I am truly part and parcel of Krishna, I'm eternal servant of Krishna, that is liberation. When we can be situated in that platform, that is liberation. And real life begins from this liberated platform. Then one engages in pure devotional service to Krishna. The living entities, as separate parts and parcels of the Supreme, have a purpose to fulfill, having forgotten that purpose since time immemorial. They are situated in different bodies as men, animals, demigods, etc. Such bodily differences arise from forgetfulness of the transcendental service of the Lord. So we have forgotten our eternal relationship. We have forgotten that we are souls. We are thinking we are the body, and in this way, we are trying to enjoy the body, trying to enjoy the material world. And in this way, we are taking different bodies every time. But when one is engaged in transcendental service through Krishna consciousness, one becomes at once liberated from this illusion. One can acquire such pure knowledge only from the bona fide spiritual master and thereby avoid the delusion that the living entity is equal to Krishna. So the bona fide spiritual master, the spiritual master who is authorized by Krishna, He's a representative of Krishna. He can give us this pure knowledge. As Srila Prabhupada is giving us this knowledge, means the pure devotee. The pure devotee of Krishna gives us this pure knowledge. And by hearing this pure knowledge, by chanting the holy name, we become liberated. We can be situated in our Krishna consciousness. Transcendental service begins by hearing and chanting. Hearing and chanting. And there we will understand, oh, I'm not Krishna. I can never become Krishna. I am a part and parcel of Krishna. I have a loving relationship with Krishna. That is real liberation. And then acting in that relationship, that's the activity of the soul. Perfect knowledge is that the Supreme Soul Krishna is the supreme shelter of all living entities, and giving up such shelter, the living entities are deluded by the material energy, imagining themselves to have a separate identity. So this is our position. We have given up Krishna's shelter. We are thinking, oh, is Krishna? I am the controller myself. I'm independent. I'm the controller. I'm the owner. I'm the enjoyer. Why should I surrender to Krishna? I am God myself. We are thinking that. This is the influence of Maya. To correct this thinking, we are given this body, we are in this material world, to help us correct this thinking, to help us understand, oh, I'm eternal part and parcel of Krishna. I need to engage in devotional service. I need to go back home, back to Godhead. This is not my permanent home. Thus, under different standards of material identity, they become forgetful of Krishna. When, however, such deluded living entities become situated in Krishna consciousness, it is to be understood that they are on the path of liberation, as confirmed in the Bhagavatam 2.10.6, Muktir hitavanyata rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. Liberation means to be situated in one's constitutional position as an eternal servitor of Krishna consciousness. So it's by Krishna consciousness, by engaging in devotional service, that we can revive our Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the consciousness of every soul. That is the pure consciousness of every soul, understanding I am an eternal servitor of Krishna. Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nityadas. That's what Lord Chaitanya begins his teachings with that. This is what Krishna is ending the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharam parityagya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Take shelter of me. If we are taking shelter of Krishna, means there is a difference, no? Otherwise, why are we taking shelter of him? If we were Krishna ourselves, why would Krishna say, take shelter of me? That means we are taking shelter of ourselves. But that's not right. We know we cannot take shelter of ourselves. We know we cannot protect ourselves. Any calamity comes, immediately we say, Krishna, help me. Instinctively, we know we are not God. Krishna is our only shelter. We're just forgetful of this. The more we hear, the more we chant, we can come to our real position. We can get real liberation, understanding. I am spirit soul. I am part and parcel of Krishna. I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Is that okay?
Yes.
Then, are there any questions, comments?
No, but I can continue reading. Sorry, I just got a call, so I had to go with it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very clearly. Sorry, could you please
But I can
repeat?
continue reading.
You can continue reading.
No, I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Apichid asi papebhya
Api
Api
chedas
chet
papibhyo
papebhya
Sarvebhyo Papakrit Tamaha.
sarvebhyah papakritam
sarveyabhyaya papakritama
Sarvam Jnana Plave Neva.
sarvam jnana
sarvam jnana plavenaiva
Vrijinam Santarishyasi.
vrijinam
vijinam
shrimati.
santarityase. Translation. Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Purport. Proper understanding of one's constitutional position in relationship to Krishna is so nice that it can at once lift one from the struggle for existence which goes out in the ocean of nescience. The material world is sometimes regarded as an ocean of nescience and sometimes as a blazing forest. In the ocean, however expert a swimmer one may be, the struggle for existence is very severe. If someone comes forward and lifts a struggling swimmer from the ocean, he is the greatest savior. Perfect knowledge received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the path of liberation. The boat of Krishna consciousness is very simple, but at the same time the most sublime.
So, perfect knowledge is received from Krishna. Krishna is the original speaker of transcendental knowledge. Like here, we are hearing Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita. And so, Krishna is a person. That's why he's speaking Bhagavad Gita. God is a person. And Krishna is saying, no matter what you have done before, the past is irrelevant. Whatever sins, anything what we have done, Krishna is saying, once you have taken up Krishna consciousness, once you have understood constitutional position, once we have understood that there is a relationship between us and Krishna, then immediately liberation. That is the point of liberation. Then the material miseries, this material world, we are subjected to three types of miseries at every moment. Miseries caused by our own body and mind, miseries caused by other living entities, the miseries caused by natural calamities. As soon as we are able to realize, I'm part and parcel of Krishna, I'm eternal servitor of Krishna, then no more, no more this struggle for existence, karshati, the struggle thinking that I'm God, I'm controller, I'm the body. Because of that, we are facing all these miseries. Once we are situated in the perfect knowledge, no more misery. So this world, this material world is compared to nations because it's full of ignorance, ocean of nations, ignorance. Also forest fire, blazing forest fire. It's like burning. We are burning here. Nobody starts a forest fire. Nobody goes into the forest to set fire, but it just happens. The miseries just come to us. You're not looking for them. It just happens. Nobody begins it. Nobody wants misery. Everyone wants to be happy, but it just happens. So but we are struggling here, thinking that we are the controller, we are Krishna, competing with God. Then Prabhupada is pointing out that if someone comes forward and lifts us out of this ocean, then he's our best friend. We cannot swim the ocean by our own endeavor. We won't be able to. So the boat of Krishna consciousness is very simple, but at the same time most sublime. Perfect knowledge is received from Krishna. We hear it, we apply the knowledge, and become Krishna conscious. So hearing from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. See how this is. Okay. Yathai dhamsi sammido agne.
Yate dhamsi sammido
Basmasat kurute Arjuna.
Bhasma Sat Kurute Arjuna.
Jnanagni sarva karmani.
Jnanani Sarva Karmani.
Basmasat kurute tatha.
Bhasmasat Kurute Tatha. Translation. As the blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions to material activities. Purpose. Perfect knowledge of self and super self and of their relationship is compared herein to fire. This fire not only burns up all reactions to impious activities but also all reactions to pious activities, turning them to ashes. There are many stages of reaction. Reaction in the making, reaction fructifying, reaction already achieved, and reaction a priori. But knowledge of the constitutional position of the living entity burns everything to the ashes. When one is in complete knowledge, all reactions, both a priori and a posteriori, are consumed. In the way that Brahad, Brahadranakya Upanishad, it is stated, Ubhe uhas vaise ete tarate amrita sadva ashaduni. One overcomes both the pious and impious reactions of work.
So then Krishna is saying once you understand the perfect knowledge. What is perfect knowledge? That I am eternal. I have an eternal relationship with Krishna. Soul and super soul, and eternal relationship. Means they are two. When we speak of relationship, means we are two. So that's the liberated platform. So we can understand it's not that at the liberated platform we're going to become God. No, we will realize our eternal constitutional position, that I have an eternal loving relationship with Krishna. And when one realizes this knowledge, then no more karma. We are not subjected to the results of our karma because it's liberated platform. It's beyond the modes of nature. When the soul has realized its eternal relationship with Krishna, is liberation, no more karma. Prabhupada is saying there is karma that we are facing right now. There's karma that is waiting that we are going to face, is soon we are going to face. Some are lying as seeds, some are not yet fructified. But all these different types of reactions that we are supposed to face, the material reactions, they all get nullified. Everything burns up when one understands one's eternal relationship with Krishna. Now one will say, oh, but my good karma will also get burnt. I don't mind, let my bad karma be burned, but I want to keep my good karma. But if we think that, then our good karma is still going to keep us in the material world. Maybe take us to heavenly planets, but after that karma finishes, again we will come to the earth to create new karma. So Krishna is rather, he is saying, you just understand this knowledge, realize this knowledge, and that's liberation for you. Because we may get scared, that means I'm going to suffer. No, in fact, that position is a happy position. It's a blissful position. The miseries don't affect us on that platform. To one who has understood or have eternal relationship with Krishna, no matter all the suffering that's going on, does not affect that pure devotee. Is that okay?
Yes.
So it says, one overcomes both the pious and impious reactions of work. So no more karma. It's liberation. When one can understand, I am eternal servant of Krishna, I have eternal loving relationship with Krishna. One is able to realize this knowledge. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening in and joining in. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.